A local golf course needed to undertake some work to improve their drainage, but being a golf course, it contained a lot of trees. They needed to make sure that the works wouldn't adversely affect the course's trees, which is where I come in. An arboricultural impact assessment is a survey and report that assesses the impact of a proposal on a tree population, and vice versa. When planning a new development, trees aren't just part of the scenery, they are a crucial part of the process. I record key details like species, size, age, condition, and most importantly, their retention value, whether they should be kept, removed, or worked around. Trees are categorised from A, high value, to U, unsuitable for retention, helping developers balance construction with tree protection. Then, an arboricultural impact assessment examines how construction might affect the trees, and vice versa. I highlight risks, mitigation measures, and tree protection strategies to ensure trees and buildings can safely coexist. This tree really got my attention. Tucked away amongst some scrubby vegetation, it is an oak tree that at some point in its life appears to have been pollarded. Can you see the large swollen section where all of the stems meet? This is where it would likely have been repeatedly cut back to during its past management. Both aesthetically and arboriculturally, this tree was of great interest and a valuable asset to the site, one that must be afforded great protection. Here we have a nice little collection of fungi I found. Generally these appear to be saprotrophic, in that they feed on dead wood. However, some fungi I found definitely don't fall into that category. This fungus is Inonotus hispidus, also known as shaggy bracket fungus. Right now, it is in its dried out, lifeless looking stage, but don't be fooled. This fungus plays a major role in wood decay, especially in ash trees like this one. Inonotus hispidus is a heartwood decay fungus, meaning it breaks down the inner core of the tree, causing a type of decay called soft rot. This weakens the tree from the inside, making it more prone to failure, particularly in storms or high winds. When fresh, this fungus appears as a large orange-brown bracket that sometimes oozes liquid. But as it ages, it dries out and turns black, like this one, before eventually crumbling away. The fungus spreads through airborne spores, often infecting wounds of stressed trees. This branch looks like it's wearing a fuzzy, colourful coat, but what you're seeing isn't moss, it's lichen, and this tree was absolutely covered in it. Lichens are fascinating life forms, a partnership between fungi and algae. The fungus provides structure, while the algae, or cyanobacteria, creates food through photosynthesis. Together, they can survive in some of the harshest environments on the planet. There are hundreds of species of lichen, and their presence can tell us a lot about air quality. Some species thrive in clean air, while others tolerate pollution. A branch covered like this suggests the air here is pretty healthy. Many people worry that lichen harms trees, but in most cases it's harmless. It is just using the bark as a surface to grow on. It doesn't steal nutrients like a parasite would. So next time you see a tree covered in lichen, take a closer look. It's not a sign of a sick tree, it's a sign of an amazing tiny ecosystem at work. This is a classic example of a hazard beam failure. A sudden break that happens in long, upward curving branches, like this one on a willow tree. But what actually causes it? Over time, branches like this develop internal stresses. The upper side of the branch is under tension, pulling the fibres apart, while the underside is under compression, squeezing the fibres together. As the branch gets heavier, especially with leaves, rain or snow, those stresses increase. Eventually, small cracks can form in the upper side where the tension is greatest. As these cracks grow, the branch weakens, sometimes over years. Then with just the right amount of stress, maybe a strong wind or added weight, the tension wins, and the branch suddenly snaps. Now here is a tree with a story to tell. This pine has either grown at a significant angle, or maybe it fell in the past and just refused to give up. You can see how the trunk stretches out at an angle, but the tree is alive and still thriving. Did it start growing like this? Or did it take a tumble and keep going? That's the mystery. Despite its unusual angle, the canopy is still full and healthy. That means that the tree has adapted, shifting its growth to balance itself. So what do you think? A natural leaner? Or a survivor of a fall? Let me know in the comments. Now that the site survey is complete, it's time to bring all that data together and create the tree constraints plan. First, I import all of the tree data, positions, canopy spreads, root protection areas, everything I recorded on site. Accuracy is key here because these plans will guide the entire development process.